Twelfth Night may not have the name recognition of something like Hamlet or A Midsummer Night's Dream or Macbeth, but it has always been among Shakespeare's most popular plays. Except for some reason during the late 1600s, during the restoration of the monarchy, for some reason people didn't like it so much back then, but I might be overly basing that on Samuel Pepys, who didn't seem to like anything. But after that, it's been pretty consistently one of his most popular, and it's one of my personal faves. The full title of the play is Twelfth Night, or What You Will, but the festival of Twelfth Night, a festival that marks the end of the 12 days of Christmas, is never even mentioned in the play. The second part of the title, What You Will, implies that we, in the audience, actually have the ability to name the play whatever we want. Name it whatever you want. It's up for interpretation. Call it Twelfth Night, or whatever you think is best. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. It's a play that combines many of Shakespeare's classic tropes. It has twins and mistaken identity. It has a wise fool and some clever songs. It has cross-dressing and gender bending. It has a love triangle and unrequited love. It's got a comic subplot. It's got separation and reunion. Shakespeare was really playing all the hits with this one. And in this video, I'm going to go through and provide all the background information and useful stuff before you start reading. In the coming videos, I'm going to walk through the play act by act while tackling the big themes of the play and introducing you to some of the conversations that it has inspired throughout the years. I'm hoping that this series will help you better understand the play, or have something clever to say in class, or help you prepare for an audition, or help you just more meaningfully or thoughtfully engage with the play as a work of art. And if that sounds like it's your kind of thing, please consider subscribing. Given the title of the play, most scholars believe its first performance was during a Twelfth Night celebration in either 1601 or 1602. The first recorded performance, however, is February 2nd, 1602. This means that he wrote the play sometime after other well-known comedies like A Midsummer Night's Dream or As You Like It, but before the later comedies that some people classify as romances like The Tempest or A Winter's Tale. Twelfth Night is the story of a set of twins who wash up on the shores of a place called Illyria after they experience a shipwreck. Both twins think that the other one is dead, and the main action of the play follows the female twin, Viola. Finding herself in an unknown land, Viola disguises herself as a boy and changes her name to Cesario, and as Cesario, she enters the service of a duke, a man named Orsino, a man hopelessly in love with a noblewoman named Olivia. The overly sentimental Duke Orsino will send Viola, who he believes to be Cesario, to court Olivia on his behalf. And for her part, Olivia has no romantic interest in Orsino. She is mourning the loss of her brother and has refused to entertain any potential suitors, but she does allow Cesario to enter her household. And then she falls in love with him. It's Viola playing Cesario. So that's our main love triangle and main love plot. Orsino is in love with Olivia, Olivia is in love with Cesario, and Cesario is in love with Orsino. And all of that is set up in the first act, so I didn't spoil anything. And then we have the comic subplot, which involves Olivia's uncle, Sir Toby Belch, who lives in Olivia's house. Sir Toby has invited a silly old man named Sir Andrew Aguecheek to court his niece, Olivia, but really he just wants to use Sir Andrew's money to party. It seems like Sir Toby's invitation to Sir Andrew might be motivated by a combination of boredom and loneliness. Sir Andrew decides to stay around because everybody seems to desire Olivia, and if he's got a chance, then he's going to keep hanging around. And he doesn't have a chance. The main action of this subplot has Sir Toby and a gentlewoman named Maria play a trick on Olivia's steward, a very serious man named Malvolio. They trick him into believing that Olivia is in love with him. They forge letters from Olivia that cryptically hint to Malvolio that she's in love with him, and ask him to dress in yellow stockings and smile more. This subplot may be the most memorable action of the entire play. In fact, Twelfth Night is one of the few plays where historians have discovered a review of the play from Shakespeare's lifetime, and that review centers the action of the subplot. The review is by a law student named John Manningham, who wrote about seeing the play in his diary on February 2nd, 1602, the first recorded performance. He wrote that the play included a good practice in it to make the steward believe his lady widow was in love with him by counterfeiting a letter as from his lady in general terms, telling him what she liked best in him and prescribing his gesture in smiling, his apparel, and so on. And then, when he came to practice, making him believe they took him to be mad. So that's fun. That was somebody who found the play memorable in 1602. There is, of course, a third plot line that follows the male twin, Sebastian, who has washed up on the shores of Illyria. He has found himself a loyal friend named Antonio, who is clearly in love with him, and eventually Sebastian will interact with the main action of the play, but that's not going to happen until the fourth act. So that's what happens in this play. Now let's discuss where it happens. The action of the play takes place in Illyria, a coastal region in the Mediterranean. It's roughly in modern-day Croatia or Albania, but the kingdom of Illyria that Shakespeare develops in this play is fictional. The social hierarchies of Illyria look a lot like they do in England, and Keir Elam, in the preface to the Arden edition of the play, goes so far as to say that Illyria is a utopia, a no place that could be any place. As such, it serves Shakespeare as an alibi, an elsewhere, not fully identifiable with any well-defined territory. It's a place that could become any place, just like how the character of Viola can become anyone when she arrives on the shores in the second scene of the play. Within Illyria, the action of the play alternates between the House of Orsino, the House of Olivia, and the spaces between the two. Both of these houses begin the play in a sad state. In Orsino's house, Orsino just mopes about, lovesick, complaining about the unrequited love that he feels for Olivia. In Olivia's house, Olivia mourns the loss of her father and brother and hangs around with Malvolio, who simply doesn't like fun at all. Both locations are joyless. The only place that isn't sad at the start of the play is wherever Sir Toby hangs out. And, hearing myself say that out loud makes me question it. Sir Toby might just be sad in a different way. He and Sir Andrew get drunk and sing songs together, though even that is touched with sadness, as Sir Andrew knows his presence in Olivia's household is unwanted by basically everybody other than Toby. And Toby keeps tricking him into staying for his own amusement. It's sad. They laugh and they sing, but it's sad. So the action of the play tries to rescue a comedic ending from these pretty depressing locations. Everybody is sad, they're all lonely, and they're all stuck in their own loneliness, isolated within one of two households. The arrival of Viola is going to disrupt that status quo, and that's what happens in the play. That's the plot. But what is the play about, thematically, at a deeper level? What are we even doing here? What are we going to discuss for the next few videos? Well, when we go through Act 1, we're going to focus on the concept of transitions. Illyria is a borderlands location. It's a transitional place at the edge of the Adriatic Sea. Viola and Sebastian are in adolescence, transitioning from childhood into adulthood. Viola is going to need to move on from her old life, which was lost in a shipwreck, and transition into something else. So when we read Act 1, we're going to put these transitions and the possibilities that they enable at the center of our discussion. When we go through Act 2, we will focus on the theme of self-love. Malvolio, Olivia's steward, is accused of being full of self-love early in the play, but he's not the only one obsessed with himself. They're all a bit self-obsessed, and this self-obsession will be both generative and destructive in different ways. So that's what we're going to talk about. When we go through Act 3, we will interpret how this play deals with the concept of interpretation itself. The name of the play asks us to come up with a name for the play. It's a play filled with interpretations and misinterpretations, so we need at least one video to just give that concept its own space. When we read Act 4, we will address all the ways this play deals with doubles and substitutions. The play has a pair of twins, so obviously there's going to be doubling. Additionally, from the very first act, Orsino employs Viola to court Olivia on his behalf, to act as his substitute, to be his double. With all the misidentifications in this play, there are both characters and situations doubled throughout. So when we read Act 4, we will center the big themes that these moments reveal. And when we read Act 5, we will focus our analysis on the concept of time and how it functions in the play. Only time is going to be able to work out these complicated love triangles and miscommunications. Some characters, like Malvolio, try to control time or give it structure. Others just let go and let destiny take the wheel. So we're going to finish the act-by-act analysis of this play with what the Fool calls the whirligig of time. And once we finish that act-by-act analysis, I'm going to make a video specifically about that Fool. His name is Feste, who is inconsequential to most of the action of the play, but is completely integral for our understanding of the deeper explorations of the play. So I'm going to go through the history and function of the wise fool in Shakespeare generally, and then discuss Feste more specifically. Then, eventually, I will make a video that uses Sebastian's relationship with Antonio as a jumping off point to discuss male friendships in Shakespeare more generally. So please subscribe to be notified when those videos come out, read Act 1, and watch the next video. And if you appreciate what I'm trying to do here, please also check out my Patreon. I'm able to buy the books I need and pay the artists who create this awesome artwork for the thumbnails because of the support that I get on Patreon. But either way, thank you for watching.